First of all, let me just say to my dear friend from New Jersey is that I appreciate so much, and his support too. He's been right with me from day one, basically for the working men and women of this country, but most importantly for the miners who have given us the country we have today. I've been doing this for quite some time now. We started 2 years ago, so it's nothing new. This is not new to anybody. This has not been sprung on somebody at the last minute, what we're fighting for and what we're trying to do. As of October, we had over 16,000 of our retired miners and a lot of elderly women, widows whose husbands have passed away. They were notified that they would be losing their health care benefits December 31st of this year. And we have been working for a permanent fix called the Miners Protection Act. And if that Miners Protection Act, if that bill was brought to the floor today, it would pass. It would pass. We have all of the Democrats caucus, all 46 of us, and we have at least 15 who've committed to voting for it from our Republican colleagues. But that's not to be. That's not going to happen. So we've been working everything we can. We've gone through regular order. That means it's been to the Finance Committee. It's gone through and been debated and vetted, and it came out of there with an 18-8 vote. Very strong in a bipartisan way. So now, what do? We're not going to get a vote on the floor, so we thought, well, let's attach it. So the Cures Act came over, and it's a health care act, and it was germane to that bill. It should have fit in perfectly. They said, no, we can't put it in there. The only thing we have left is what we're doing now as a CR. And this is something that I've never done. I've been here 6 years and never used this procedure to say, wait a minute. If we don't stand for the people that have fought, worked, and died for us, and basically given us the country we've had. We've won 2 wars with the domestic energy that's been mined right here in America, an awful lot of it in West Virginia, I might add. And we have the strongest country in the world with a superpower, but that would never happen. We'd have never had the military might that we have today. We would never have the middle class that we've had. We just wouldn't have the quality of life we have in America if it hadn't been for the domestic energy that our miners have given us. So what we're asking for is that all they're saying is, this is a promise that was made in 1946 that President Truman said, listen, we're going to commit to you that every ton of coal mined from this day forward, and the coal companies you work for will put money aside to make sure that you have lifetime benefits for health care and for your pension. Now, these are not big, elaborate pension plans. They're very small. They're a subsistence, if you will. But the health care has been very important to so many people. And this thing has been going on for quite some time, and you know what? We've been involved many times. So yes, the federal government has been involved to make sure that the companies put that money aside so they would have their health care and their pensions. Then, lo and behold, Congress basically passes bankruptcy laws that lets people walk away from their obligations through bankruptcy. So now the promises were made, and the promises that were kept by Congress was done away with through the bankruptcy laws that were so lenient that people could declare bankruptcy and say, listen, I'm sorry, we're just not going to fulfill that commitment. That legacy goes away. That is somebody else's problem. To fast forward to where we are today and why we have the problems we have, let me just bring you to speed with what we are dealing with. We've asked for the Miners Protection Act, which was a permanent health care fix and a permanent pension fix. These are for the retirees. We have another group of retirees out here that basically have gone through bankruptcy, and there was money set aside, about $47 million. Now, that was supposed to run out in June, so we were going to bring all of them together, so we took care of everybody. Now, with the bill that they put in front of us, that this House of Representatives have given us, is this horrendous, and it's inhumane. They gave us a bill and said, take it or leave it on the CR. And they want to say, people want to close. Nobody wants to close this great institution, this government down, not a person. But you've got to stand for something, or surely to God you'll stand for nothing. And that's what we find ourselves. They gave us a 4-year extension. Now, if your aunt or your mother was getting a notice in October that she would lose it in December, they want us now to say, okay, we're going to be so sympathetic, we'll give you 4 more months through April. That same person is going to now get another notification in January that she's going to lose it in April. On top of that, she won't even be able to meet her deductibles. So there's no insurance. There's nothing. And you remember the money I said they set aside $47 million for the miners who basically have gone through a bankruptcy and lost their jobs and retired, they were going through June. Those same miners now are going to lose May and June, 2 months. They're going to lose 2 months. And there's going to be a $2 million surplus goes back to the Treasury. I had one woman call me and she says, Senator Manchin, I don't know, but you know, back home where I come from, they call that thievery. And she's absolutely correct. So this is why we're so committed and we're so dug in on this issue. It's just a fairness. It's the right thing to do. And all we've asked for is to take care of our miners' health care. We'll come back and fight another day for pension. But give us the health care that's been promised and committed time after time again. I've never seen anything this calloused in my life that we weren't willing to fulfill a promise that we have made and the federal government has put its stamp of approval on. So for those who are saying that it's inconvenience, and the procedures that I've been using and my other colleagues with me, I've had everybody, and I appreciate so much, and for them to say, hey, you've held up a lot of good bills. Yes, a lot of bills that I've worked on for a year or more I've held up. But if we can't pass forward on this and walk out of here basically knowing that we did the right thing, what's our purpose for being here? Why did we come? If we all talk, I've seen everybody's election, you know, all of our election advertisement, whether it be Democrat or Republican, is we're all for the middle class. We're all for the working class. We're going to make sure that the working men and women really get a fair shake. They've been screwed and left behind, so let's do it. Okay, we're all for that. All of our advertising and our campaigns say that. We're committed to it. Only thing I'm saying is now, fulfill it. It's either put up or shut up. That's all. You've already told them. You've asked them to vote for you because of this reason. Now you have a chance to show them that's why you're here. I came here to do exactly what I told you I was going to do. Fight for you. Make sure you're treated fair. And we have pay-fors. This is not coming out of taxpayers' money. This is AML, abandoned mine land. The abandoned mine land money comes from every ton of coal. There's a certain percentage of that ton of coal, money from that coal, that goes into a fund that's put aside to do reclamation. Now I've got some of my western states that don't have quite the reclamation that we've had. And I'll tell you, in the eastern part of the country, in West Virginia, in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and southwestern Virginia, there's an awful lot of work to be done, and we do that work. And we have done that for quite some time, and we're saying, listen, we're not denying you're all getting your money, but you shouldn't get first dibs on it and then hinder us from taking care of the responsibility we have to the miners that have given you the opportunity to live in this great country. That's really what it comes down to. So I've been asking all of my colleagues, you know, this is not a fight that is going to be damaging to anybody. This is the only time-sensitive issue we have before us. Nothing else that we have before us. All the bills are on hold right now. Not one bill has time sensitivity. We can come back and do it again. We can come back and do it again. We have no problems doing them over and over. We've been here for a long time. This is the only one, the miners' health care, they lose it, $16,500, lose it December 31st. You show me anything else we have in here that someone's going to be that harmed at a time specific when we walk out of here. That's what this is about. And to tell me they're going to give us 4 months and they're doing us a favor for 4 months, that is absolutely, and I've said this time, that is inhumane. And how they did it and how they paid for it is even a crime. It's awful. And that's why we're standing here and fighting, and that's why I'm going to continue to fight. I think that we have a purpose in life, and if you have a purpose in life and public service, then serve the public. Don't come here to serve yourself. And that's all people have asked for. Do your job. And you wonder why we have a low rating from the public, why they think so little of Congress. This is so common sense. It's so easy for us to do. It's so easy for us to be able to say, fine, we're going to fulfill this, and then we have a lot of other things we want to take care of. And that's all we've asked for, and that's all we're asking for now. We can do the right thing between today and tomorrow. We truly can. Someone says, the House is left. I'm so sorry that they were inconvenienced and had to leave so early to go home for Christmas. You go home and tell the people that I live with, the people that I was raised with, the people that have taken care of me, I'm so sorry, but we had to come home for Christmas. I'm sorry you're losing your health care December 31st. I just didn't mean for that to happen. But you know I had to get home for Christmas. That doesn't play well where I come from. That is not a commitment. That is not public service. I am so sorry. I hope I haven't inconvenienced anybody. I hope I haven't made you feel uncomfortable. I hope I haven't held up a bill that you've been working on, because I've held up all my bills. No one was left scathed in this thing. But all we're saying is, for Pete's sake, do the right thing. Stand up for this. Stand up for the people that give us what we have today. History said, if you don't know where you come from, you sure don't know where you're going. And right now, I'm not sure. If we're not going to stand up for the people that have given us the life we have, I'm not sure where we are going. But I know one thing. I can go home and look them in the eye. I can say, I'm doing everything I can. I'm going to fight for you, and I'm willing to take, whatever it takes, whatever medicine it takes here, whatever upset people get with me, whatever uncomfortable they may be. I'm asking, just please take care of the miners' health care. That's all right now. We'll talk about the rest later. So with that, Mr. President, I thank you, and I yield the floor.